We cautiously crept up to the GP level, me and Zeus in front, followed by Austin, Ian, and Taylor, with McKenna and Abigail bringing up the rear. The cameras inside the stairwell were panning back and forth like animals, heads up, watching for danger. "Zeus, take those out," I whispered. "On it." One by one, Zeus blasted the cameras. Their blinking red lights went dark, and they drooped as if hanging their heads in defeat. The stairwell itself went dark. "I think they're trying to make it difficult," Zeus said. "No problem," McKenna said. She began to glow again. "McKenna," I said, "stay close to the wall. You make an easy target." She pressed back against the wall. "Ian, where are they?" I whispered. "3 guards on GP. 2 guards on level 1, 6 on 2, 3 guards guarding the door, and 3 with Hatch and the children. They've abandoned the 3rd floor. There are 7 guards on the 4th and 3rd scientists. And 3 scientists. It looks like they're preparing for battle on the 4th floor. They must have guessed that where we're going," I said. As we came up to the 1st level, I whispered to Ian, "How close to the door are they?" "One is touching it. The other is standing by the elevator." I put my hand on the door and pulsed. We could hear the guard's gun hit the floor. 17, Austin said. Suddenly, Ian shouted, "Move, move!" We scattered. Bullets started ripping through the door. When the gunfire paused, Zeus asked Ian, "Where is he?" Ian pointed. Zeus shoved his finger through one of the holes and fired back with a lightning bolt. "Got him," Ian said. "You're good." "Thanks, Zeus said. 16, Austin said. "We're 40% there." We approached the door on the 2nd floor cautiously. Hatch was on level 2, and there were the electric children and 6 guards on level 2. 6 guards. Unfortunately, with the stairwell cameras dead, they were blind to our movements. On our way up to the 3rd floor, we had to step over the bodies of 2 guards from our first battle. They were still unconscious. McKenna and Abigail put on the guards' bulletproof vests, even though they hung to the girls' knees. And then Austin and I cuffed the guards and stripped them of their weapons. Austin added one of their knives to his utility belt, which looked like a small sword on him. I took one of the rifles and jammed it between the door and the railing to keep the door from being opened behind us. With each step, Ian looked from side to side as he kept track of everything going on in the building. My biggest fear was that Hatch would attack Nichelle and the electric children, but with the exception of Tara, they kept their distance. "He can't risk them," Zeus said to me. "The kids are too valuable. The guards are dispensable." We stopped on the stairwell between the level 3 and 4. There was another guard's body on the stairs. We stripped the guard of his weapons. Now we had more than we could carry, so we dropped them down the stairwell. Austin put on the guard's bulletproof vest. Ian groaned. "We've got a problem." "What?" I said. "On level 4, they're setting up inside the door with a flamethrower." "A flamethrower?" Austin asked. "If we open the door, that will fill the whole stairwell. It's worse, they've even armed the scientists. Superman couldn't make it through the door alive." I looked back down the stairwell. "I've got an idea. How many guards are on 3? "None. They've abandoned the floor." "You sure?" He looked again. "Yes." "Austin, how much smoke does one of these smoke grenades make?" "Well, if they're like the ones on the Discovery Channel, they'll each produce 40,000 cubits of smoke in about 35 seconds. How many cubits is the 4th floor?" Austin loved questions like this. I estimate this place is about 4,400 square feet per floor. The ceiling about 8 feet high. So if my calculations are accurate, that 35,200 cubic feet of space floor. I grinned. "So 12 smoke grenades would cover it?" "The smoke would be so thick they'd chew it like bubblegum. But how do we get the smoke grenades up there?" "No problem," I said. "Follow me." We climbed back down to the 3rd level, the floor of the electric children's suites. Knowing that the cameras were still live, Zeus went inside alone to take out the cameras while I explained the plan to everyone else. A minute later, Zeus opened the stairwell door. On 3. "All clear. The cameras are all dead." We all went inside. Abigail and McKenna each called an elevator. When the elevators arrived, they pushed the button for the 4th floor. They stepped back and held the elevator door open. "Everybody ready?" I asked. "Let's roll," Zeus said. The elevators began to beep from being detained. "Austin, ready?" he shouted from the stairwell. "Now!" At my signal, Austin leaned out of the stairwell door and threw a concussion grenade up to the 4th floor, while Abigail and McKenna pulled the pins on their smoke grenades. 6 apiece, threw them into the elevator and let the elevator go. A half-minute later, Ian started to laugh. "It's working! Smoke's filling the 4th level! Taylor, now!" I shouted. Taylor began concentrating, trying to create as much general confusion as she could. We could hear the guards and the scientists above the state of panic. "They're running around like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off," said Ian. "They're climbing out the windows." Within 5 minutes, the guards and the scientists had completely vacated the floor. We went back to the stairwell. Smoke from our grenades had seeped into the stairwell, and Austin was covering his mouth and nose with a shirt, which he had pulled up through his vest. "They're all gone," I said. 9 guards left," Austin said. "How's the smoke?" I asked Ian. "It's dissipating. Give it a few more minutes." I climbed past Austin and tried the door. "It's bolted shut," I said. "Any ideas, Austin?" Suddenly a bolt slid and the door opened. Abigail and McKenna were standing there. I looked at them curiously. "How'd you get up here?" McKenna smiled. "We took the elevator." We covered our noses and walked into the room. The smoke had a pungent sulfuric smell. Austin stopped to look at the mounted guns. They were facing the door. "Whoa, that's a Beretta M182, an anti-material rifle retrofitted with M2A17 flamethrower." "How do you know all that?" I asked. "Internet." "That's one nasty gun," Ian said, scratching his head. "Ian, I'm going to release the prisoners," I said. "Will you keep watch?" "Sure thing." The command center was located on the front end of the floor, opposite of the stairwell we've just come through. The door was open with large panels so that inside that we could see the stairwell and the rest of our group. There were 2 large consoles, each about the size of a car hood, and as loaded with buttons and switches as a jet cockpit. "Man, this is cool," Austin said. "I need one of these in my room." The first console had 14 small screens stacked on top of each other in 5 levels. The number corresponded with each level of the building except for the GP level, which was missing. The images on these screens were constantly changing, switching between more than 100 security cameras. However, thanks to Zeus's handiwork, only the first, second, and 4th floors monitors were completely live. Next to the screens were a long row of buttons, allowing the operator to select and control any camera on the grounds. "These are all the building security cameras," I said to Austin, pointing to the monitor. "See, there's the main hall, the yard, and the student suites." "The student suites?" Zeus asked, walking into the room. "I completely took out the 3rd floor cameras." "Not all of them. There's still ones in the bedrooms." "There were cameras in the bedrooms?" Zeus asked, looking surprised. "I didn't know we were being watched all the time. It's kind of embarrassing." Unfortunately, we had taken out all the cameras in the stairwell, which would have been useful to us now. Taylor joined us in the command center. The second console was entirely dedicated to the GP level. There was a bank of 25 small screens, each with a number, all surrounding one large central monitor. On the small screens, we could see the GPs. There was little movement in the cells, and the prisoners were either lying on their beds or sitting on them. In one room, a few were on the ground playing cards. "Interesting," Austin said, watching them. "They've created their own sign language." All but 2 of the cells were full, and most had more than one occupant, some as many as 4. On the main console, there were 25 panels, each with 3 buttons, a toggle switch, a slide switch, and 3 green diodes. In the center of the console was a microphone. "Austin, help me figure this out," I said. Austin walked up behind me and looked over the console. Each screen in the panel corresponded with a cell, and if you pushed the red button, he reached over and pushed the red button on the cell 5. The video image of two GPs playing cards on the small screen appeared on the central monitor. You can enlarge the view of the single cell. He pushed the button again, and the image zoomed in still more. He did it until we could actually read the cards in one of the prisoners. One of the prisoner held in his hand. That's one way to cheat at cards, Zeus said. This toggle switch moves the cameras. Austin pushed the button to the right and the camera panned right. Man, I wish I had one of these. He looked at the buttons on the panel below, the red one. They were labeled VOX, PL, EC. EC had a sliding button between it. VOX, of course, is the intercom system. PL, Austin rubbed his chin as he thought, pneumatic locks. The green light tells you that it's locked. The EC would be the electric collars. I'm guessing that the sliding button below them would intensify the severity of the shock. The green light signals that it's on. Look around for Jack, I said. Is that him in 9? Taylor said, pointing at a small screen. The man in the cell was lying on his back looking at the ceiling. I pushed the red button on 9 and the picture came to the central monitor. Push it again, Austin said. I pushed the button twice until the man's face took half the screen. That's him, Taylor said. I didn't recognize him with that beard, I said. Where's Wade? Austin asked. They're not together? I honestly didn't know if Wade was still alive. I hadn't had a chance to tell them anything about what had happened to us. Keep looking, I said. There he is, Austin said, in 11. I pushed the button on 11. The image filled the screen. Wade wasn't alone. There was another man in the room. He's almost across the hall from Jack, I said. I pushed the button on 9 again, and the picture of Jack came back onto the center screen. I pushed the VOX button on the 9 panel. Jack. He suddenly looked up towards the corner of the room. Jack, can you hear me? He looked around as if he was trying to figure out where the voice had come from. Jack, it's me, Michael. Are you okay? This time he nodded. I can't hear anything, I said to Austin. He's not speaking. He still has the electric collar on. Right. I looked down at the panel. Which way should I push it to deactivate it? Try pushing it to the right, Taylor said. I started to slide the switch to the right. Jack immediately grabbed his collar. Stop, stop, Austin shouted. Sorry, my bad, Taylor said into the microphone. Ruled out the right, I said. I slid the switch to the left. The green light of the panel went off. I think you did it, Austin. Jack, I said into the microphone, I think we disarmed your collar. Try speaking. He looked nervous. Michael? He said in a raspy voice. A look of relief came across his face. Thank you. Where are you? We've escaped. We've taken control of the main command center. We're going to unlock all the doors in the prison, but there are still 3 guards on your floor. We want you to get Wade and help us. I don't know where Wade is, Jack said. He's close. He's in cell 11. That's directly across the hall. 1 cell on the right. I'm going to unlock your door, but don't open it until I tell you to. Taylor, where are the guards? There's one coming down the hall towards 9. Hold tight, Jack. Austin is on my word. Unlock Wade's cell. Got it. He's turning back, Taylor said. Okay, Jack. Be sure to shut your door so that they don't suspect anything. Got it. Ready? Go. I pushed the PL button and a light on the panel turned green. Wait, Jack said. There's no handle on the inside of the door. I can't open it. I got an idea, Austin said. He walked over to the other console, looking around for a moment, then pushed a button. The door just opened a little, Jack said. What did you do? I asked. I turned on the hall air conditioning, and created a negative air. That was smart, Taylor said, cutting him off. Thanks. Okay, where's the guard, Taylor? Still on the other end of the hall. Austin, open cell 11. Got it. Okay, Jack, go fast. Jack pried open his cell door, stepped out into the corridor, pulled his door shut, then pushed in the door to cell 11. I hit the red button on 11 and the image took full screen. We watched the reunion. Wade stood as Jack entered, and the other inmates just stared anxiously. Austin, turn off their collars to the left. Got it. Done. I pushed the VOX. Jack shut the door. We turned off the collars, but keep your voices down. Wade looked around, afraid to speak. It's okay, you can talk, Jack said. Who's that? Wade asked. It's Michael, Jack said. They've escaped. He looked at the camera. You're the man, Michael. Can you take off your collars? Yeah, they're just buckled like a seatbelt. Are you sure they're turned off? Because the collars are programmed to go off on full if we try to turn them off. They're off, Austin said. They turned to me and shrugged. I think, he said to me. The three of them quickly removed their collars. Guys, here comes the guard, Taylor said. Austin, can you figure out how to shut off the lights on the floor? He went over to the other console. Just a minute. He quickly scanned the board. I think this is it. Jack, the guard is coming. When he passes your cell, we're going to shut off the lights. Can you and Wade jump him and drag him back into your cell? My pleasure, Wade. You hit low, I'll take his arms. Count me in, the other inmate said. We have night vision here, I said, so wait for our command. Got it. He's nearing the cell, Taylor said. Okay, he's past the cell. Austin, now, I said. The GP level screen all went dark. Suddenly, the images on them changed from black to a pale green, ghost-like images. I whispered, Jack, can you see anything? No. The guard is 3 feet to your right, directly in front of your cell. He's facing 9. Open your door. He opened the door, and the guard must have heard my voice and started to turn back. Now, 3 of them blindly charged the guard. Wade hit first, wrapping his arms around the guard's legs, while Jack knocked him over. The other inmate grabbed the guard around the neck and was flailing. The guard was flailing around, but had no idea who or what had hit him. Truly, the attack did not look a whole lot different than back when Jack and his posse tried to pants me. The 3 of them dragged the guard back into their cell. 8 guards, Austin said. Lights on, I said. The lights came back on. The 2 remaining guards just looked around, confused by what had happened. Shut the door, I said. Wade pushed the door shut. The 3rd inmate still had the guard by the throat. Jack pinned his arms behind his back, and Wade handcuffed him. Then Jack pulled off all the guards' weapons, taking a rifle, taser, and concussion grenade. He handed a pistol and smoke grenade to Wade, and a Trojan and mace to the other inmate. The inmate immediately sprayed the mace in the guard's face. Feels good, don't it? The guard gasped and sputtered. Don't kill me. Keep your mouth shut, Jack said to the guard. You call for help, and it will be the last thing you ever do. Put the collar on him, Austin said in the microphone, and we'll reactivate it in full. Gladly, Jack said. He fastened one of the collars around the guard's neck. I slid the switch. Reactivated, I said. Welcome to the other side, Jack said. He turned to the other inmate and put out his hand. What's your name? Salvatore. Well, Salvatore, grazie. Zeus said, if you can manually control the elevators, I can take out the front guard. While Jack takes out the other guard, then we can start bringing the prisoners up here by passing the guard on to. Brilliant, except you'd better have Ian go with you so you don't walk into an ambush. Austin, you're in charge of the elevators. Abigail and McKenna keep watch on the monitors. What about me? Taylor asked. Stay close to me, I said. I'm going to need your help. I got back on the speaker. Jack, there are only 8 guards left, Hatch and the 6 electric children. We're going to start transporting all the prisoners up to the 4th floor and arm them. We've got a whole weapon deposit up here. What will happen if I unlock all the doors? They're pretty keyed up, he said. Prisoner riot could turn ugly. That's what I was afraid of. There's a few guys who could really help us, though. How many? Half dozen? Okay, this is the plan. There are 2 guards still on your floor, one in each corridor. Ian and Zeus are going to come down the front elevators and take out the first guard. There's a guard at the end of the corridor to your left. You're going to have to keep him from helping out the other guards. Jack took out his grenade. No problem. When you've secured the floor, tell us where your friends are. Give the weapons you captured to the ones you trust, and then start bringing them up here here 6 at a time. I need you and Wade up here with us. Hatch may launch a counterattack up the stairwell. Got it. Zeus and Ian walked over to the elevator. We're ready. On it, Austin said. He opened the elevator door. Level GL. Now I'm going to cut the lights again. Ian, when you get there, tell Zeus where to fire and stay away from the elevator doors. The guard is still armed. He may just fire on the sound of the door opening. Got it. They stepped into the elevator. Austin shut the door and sent them down. Then he again cut the lights on the level. We could see the guards on our screens freeze in their positions. Look, Abigail said, the stairwell door. Fire and sparks began shooting through the stairwell door. Someone's cutting their way in here, I said. It must be Brian, McKenna said. He can do that. Taylor, I shouted, see what you can do to stop him. Taylor walked closer to the stairwell door, focused her attention on the door. Nothing's happening. Austin was staring at the monitor. Zeus and Ian reached the ground level, he said. There's a bright flash of lightning on the screen. 7 guards, Austin shouted. What is Ian doing? On the monitor, Ian looked frantic. He ran down the hall towards cell 11. Already a full line had been cut through the door. Michael, Taylor shouted. I can't stop them. Austin, who's out there? I can't tell. Zeus shut out the camera. I turned back to the console. Austin, lights up on GL. I pushed the master volume VOX. Jack, one of our guys, Ian, is about to come around the corner behind you. Don't shoot him. Can you take the other guard out? Jack raised his hand. On it. Do it, Wade. Wade threw a smoke grenade down the end of the hall. The guard vanished behind a cloud of smoke. We've got you surrounded, man, Jack shouted. You're the only one left. Surrender your weapon now, or we start shooting. The choking guard threw his gun out ahead of him. Don't shoot. I surrender. Get on your knees and put your hands behind your head. Jack turned back to Wade. Get a collar. 6 guards left, Austin shouted. Ian rounded the corner and pushed open the cell door. He was out of breath. Michael, can you hear me? I'm here, I said. He gasped out a warning. It's Brian. He's cutting through the stairwell wall. We can see the sparks. Is he wearing a helmet? Yes. I looked at Taylor. Get away from there. You can't help. Just then, Zeus walked into the cell behind Ian, carrying the guard's weapon. What's going on? Michael, Ian said. Brian's with Hatch and 3 guards, and he has Michelle with him. They're coming for you.